Welcome back to another Ab Nation and Hockey Nation video. Today we talk about the Montreal Canadiens news followed by the NHL, and at the end we're going to talk about Nick Suzuki, elite now in NHL. Let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens, and the Montreal announced yesterday a couple news first, but the injuries. There are some move inside the Montreal Canadiens roster. Patrick Laine is still out, and Kirby Dach, we know Caden Collet is going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. Then Montreal Canadiens send down to Laval Owen Beck, but they call up from the Rocket Joshua Roy and Del Gazzo defenseman. Kirby Dach is going to be part of this trip on the West Canadian for the Montreal Canadiens. And Patrick Laine is going to stay in Montreal, work on his lower body injury. Then Montreal Canadiens are going to start his annual West Canadian trip tonight when they visit the Calgary Flames, following by tomorrow night the Edmonton Oilers, Saturday the Vancouver Canucks, and next week the Seattle Kraken Tuesday night. Then I want to talk about one big question for the Montreal Canadiens. Who start in the net tonight? We know Tobias looking great between the pipe for the Montreal Canadiens since the beginning of the season with a record of 3-0-0. Montembeault is struggling with a record of 2-2-0 and a goal against average over 3.0 and only a goal save percentage of 857. Montreal Canadiens also have to figure out their line. Why? Because if Kirby Dach is coming back during the trip, what it would be the player out for the Montreal Canadiens, Joshua Roy or Joe Veleno? If Roy play and Dach is out, expect Budzik, Veleno, Roy together. Of course, Sakaski, Suzuki, and Caulfield. Evans between Anderson and Gallagher. Finally, you have Kapanen between Demidov and Newhook. Now, I want to talk about Demidov. Demidov TOI, the last game was a little bit over 12 minutes. The last couple of games, he played under 15 minutes. This is an important situation for Demidov, and he does not play on the unit number 1 on the power play. We need a minimum of 15 minutes to 17 minutes for Demidov. He's an impact player for the Montreal Canadiens. Martin Saint-Louis need to find a spot for Demidov. We know what he did with Lane Hudson last game. That duo, a chemistry, is unbelievable. This is now Martin Saint-Louis to find that combination Hudson-Demidov. And finally, Budzik is on the wrong chair. Because of the injury at Dach and Laine, Budzik will now play with Veleno and Beck during the weekend. This week could play with Roy. I feel like Budzik does not play at the level he did in his first 4 games with the Montreal Canadiens when he scored 3 goals. It's something like Martin Saint-Louis need to find also a better chair for Zachary Budzik. Montreal Canadiens with a record of 5-2-0, looking great, looking good, but it's not perfect. They need to be better on the special team. Power play below 20%. PK below 80%. 2 important categories Montreal need to become better. And Martin Saint-Louis need to find some answer with his unit number 1 and unit number 2 on both sides, power play and PK. And finally, Montreal need to play a 60 minutes at some point. Every game, they are struggling a minimum of 1 period or half of the game. Montreal need to step up during the next trip for game. And finally, I want to talk about one more thing, the puck management for the Montreal Canadiens. And Martin Saint-Louis talk about how to manage the puck during the second period. Montreal need to become better on the transition, on the exit defensive zone, or on the breakout. 3 important areas Montreal need to manage better their puck. And on the offensive side, it's great to have a great puck management with passing, but they need to show the puck more on the opponent goalie each game. This is another area Montreal need to become better. And finally, I want to finish with the news for the Laval Rocket. Laval won their last 2 games on the weekend, and they are on the straight with 3W. Play tonight against the Belleville Senator at 7 o'clock p.m. Montreal going to play against Calgary tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time p.m. Yes, we're going to be here for the play-by-play. Don't forget to join us tonight. Now, I want to talk about the different news around the NHL. This is a crazy season so far with 7 or 6 games around the NHL. First, the Central Division and the Metropolitan Division dominate the NHL. Both divisions have 7 of their 8 teams play with a minimum of 500 or plus. Unbelievable what's going on in the Central Division and the Metropolitan Division. Then, the Flame and the Lightnings are at the bottom of the division. Pacific Division, Atlantic Division. If you tell me after 7 games, both teams are going to be at the bottom of the division, I would say you are wrong. But that's happening right now. Both teams have only 1 W since the beginning of the season. New York Rangers. This is a wild, strange team right now. They are looking bad at home, and on the road, they're looking better. They only score 1 goal and 4 games at home. But what is really wild is Chesterkin is the number 1 goalie in NHL with a goal against average of 1.17. 1.17, guys, for the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers have a record of 3-4-1 since the beginning of the season. It's unbelievable when you check the stat of Chesterkin and the New York Rangers. Vegas Golden Knights have 2 players on the top scorer in NHL. Jack Eichel with 16 points and Mark Stone with 13 points. Obviously for Stone, he got hurt. Last game, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. This is his annual ER every year. But for Jack Eichel, what a great year for the number 9 and for the Vegas Golden Knights. They lead and they are number 1 on the Pacific Division. Then I want to talk about the New York Islanders, Matthew Sheffer. This young man is unbelievable. Scored 1 goal last night, 1 assist. He dominates for all the rookies in NHL with 7 points. And the best player for the New York Islanders since the beginning of the season. He's on the streak with 6 games. And he's the youngest player in NHL. This Calder Trophy race is going to be so much fun to watch for the upcoming season. Last year, Lennartson, Michkov, Celebrity, a little bit Dawson Wolf. But this year, you have so many players could win the Calder Trophy. But Matthew Sheffer right now is my favorite player to win the Calder Trophy. Finally, who is hot and who is cold? First of all, the New Jersey Devils, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Winnipeg Jets won the last 5 games. Utah and Vegas Golden Knights, the last 4. Who is cold? The Calgary Flames lost the last 6 games. The Boston Bruins lost the last 5 games. And then the San Jose Sharks lost the last 4 games. And they did not win any game so far in NHL. This is a wild and weird, crazy season after 2 weeks in NHL. My last subject of the day is about Nick Suzuki. I call him now the elite player. No doubt in my mind, Nick Suzuki is a top 10 center in NHL. I know you won't tell me, of course, you are a Montreal Canadiens fan. It's not because I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. I'm going to show to you what Nick Suzuki accomplished since January 1st. First of all, Nick Suzuki, he never missed any game since he joined the NHL. Since the beginning of the season, he has 7 game play and he got 10 points. 1 goal, 9 assists, and a streak of 6 games with 1 point. Since the formation, he is the number 1 center, a player in NHL with the most points, 47 points in 33 games, and he have differential of plus 22. This is elite number from Nick Suzuki. Since January 1st, 2025, Nick Suzuki is a number 4 with 63 points in NHL. Again, elite players, not only about points, but it's about his 200 feet game, the way he played on the 3 zone. Last game, he blocked shots at the end of the game. This is the second game back-to-back Nick Suzuki sacrificed for the team. He's become a complete hockey player in NHL, and I'm going to repeat, he is a top 10 center now in NHL, number 1 for the Montreal Canadiens. That's it. That's all I got for you today, guys. The Montreal Canadiens news, the NHL news, and Nick Suzuki, elite center now in NHL. Leave me a comments about the different subject, and let me a comment if you like those videos. I would like to restart to make more video for you guys, but I want to get your feedback. Until then, my friend, remember, don't forget to subscribe, click on the likes, and become a member of our channel or our patreon.com, where you can read about the Montreal Canadiens or other news in NHL. Finally, you have greatness inside of you.